My name is Anne Alexander. I'm teaching on the Cambridge Digital Humanities MPhil programme. We're very pleased to be welcoming you to the session today. Just to say that it's in webinar format, so if you want to ask a question, the way to do that is through the Q&A function. You'll be able to, you can ask a question at any point. We'll have our panelists, some of them will be answering live, and then also the answers, we can provide answers in the chat. We are recording this session for the benefit of people who couldn't come to join live today, so it will be available afterwards. Yeah, so again, just to reiterate, thanks and welcome to everyone coming to this session today. My name's Anne Alexander, and I'm going to hand over actually now to Leo Input, who's going to give us a presentation about the MPhil programme in CDH, and then we'll also give a brief introduction to other members of the team. As I said, please do use the Q&A function to ask questions during the talk if you like, and we'll also have a chance for you to ask questions after. Thanks very much. So over to you, Leo.
Thanks, Anne. So if we start the presentation just with a very, very quick round of introductions, the other webinar sessions that we've run more or less once a month for 3 months now. And I normally start with about 20 slides saying exactly who's in CDH and teaching on the MPhil and what our research interests are and what we had for breakfast last year and stuff like that. And that ended up taking about 20 minutes of the session, and we always didn't have time for questions. So I've taken that out of the presentation, and so we'll just say a few sentences about ourselves and basically leave it to you to Google us and to Google the many, many other really interesting scholars at CDH. So you can find all that on the website if you go to cdh.cam.ac.uk, which will be at the top of all of my slides. So don't worry about writing that down now, and I'm sure people will put it in the chat. So yeah, a few words about myself. I am a lapsed engineer. I had a background in AI, machine learning, and computer vision, and I started working with lots of people from the humanities, including Anne, in fact, and started to work more and more on digital art history and on, I suppose, approaches to bias in computer vision, and more than just bias, also approaches to kind of the visual culture of computer vision and AI systems. So that's me. Julia, do you want to say a few words?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Julia Grisot. I'm also one of the teachers of the Master in Digital Humanities. I am a linguist as a background and applied linguist, so I did land in Digital Humanities rather recently, and I do mostly deal with distant reading, so computational methods, approaches to texts. And yeah, that's me in very short.
Thanks. Jonathan, maybe?
Hi everyone, I'm Jonathan. I'm the research software engineer on the MPhil. So that means it's my job to help the students with technical parts of their research. And it's a really varied role because, as you'll hear today, students come to the MPhil from a very wide variety of technical backgrounds, which makes my job really interesting and varied, and also means the cohort is very interested and varied in terms of their interests and their experience. Thanks.
Thanks, Jonathan. And normally we'll also have Suzanne Daly here. She's our chief admin. She runs all of the admissions process and is, extremely helpful. She's unfortunately not able to be here today, but we do have Anna Fox, who might not be able to answer everything because she's normally working in other bits of the department, but is also a wealth of institutional knowledge. So thanks, Anna, for joining us. So, there might be some questions on the admin sides that we might encourage you to ask different bits of the university or to follow up by email. We often get things like, how do I know if I'm paying home or foreign fees? And the answer is often, unfortunately, that's not up to us. Okay, I'm going to give a very, very quick presentation now. I do need the host to enable screen sharing for me or make me a co-host or however you want to do it. Super. Thanks very much. Here is the screen. Hopefully you can all see that and hear me okay, and so on and so on and so on, and wave if something looks wrong. Good. I might skip through some of these slides. As I say, in the past, we've had quite long presentations, and not been able to address maybe all of the questions, and some of the questions are really, really interesting. So I'm quite keen to keep this as short as possible. But if there's anything in here that piques your interest, then feel free to ask about it in the Q&A. So normally we start with a couple of minutes of spiel of sort of what is digital humanities, because it's so many different things to so many different people. And, you know, that means that a master's in digital humanities can look very different in different institutions. And that's not to say one is better than the other or anything like that, but we all have our different areas of expertise, academic strengths, areas of specialization, and so on. We hope to be a very, very inclusive DH group with tentacles, if you like, in all sorts of bits of the discipline. I'm not going to go through the full list, but we work heavily, if you like, with the institution, collections, archive, library side of DH, but we also work very heavily in the kind of media studies, media theory side, and also quite heavily on the new technologies for cultural history, so AI, computer vision, distant reading, psycholinguistics, etc., etc. So we hope to really bring these three things together in dialogue, you know, and more, of course. And one of the, I think, strengths of the program is that because we bring in people who have projects on these different sides and we put them into dialogue, they benefit from each other's expertise. So people who might be working on quite technical details of handwritten text recognition for archival collections might be talking to people working on analog and digital synthesizers in Capo Verde in the 1970s and the effects of the digital on post-colonial culture, and so on and so on and so on, and you know, generate some really interesting discussions and dialogues there. I talked about tentacles. CDH is a similarly tentacled body, Cambridge Digital Humanities. We're institutionally in a very, very weird setup. So you might see on some of the forms that this course is being run under the English faculty. I'm in the English department. Julia is in the English department. Not all of CDH is in the English department. We're a kind of slightly hybrid body. So there are lots of us, but often in slightly different institutional affiliations. So some of us work for the library and are seconded to CDH. Some of us work in English and are seconded, or you know, are working under CDH. Some of us work in CRASH, which is the university's sort of interdisciplinary research center for the humanities, and are in CDH. And so we can bring together lots of different bits of the university, and that's a really exciting part of, I think, the research culture here. Talking of the research culture, so one of the things that we offer beyond courses for the MPhil series is a very dense set of research seminars, graduate research seminars. These are invited talks. They're normally done in the sort of early evening with free drinks afterwards. And they're almost always outside specialists in some area of digital humanities or digital culture. We've had artists, we've had digital sociologists, we've had geographers, we've had all sorts of people. Some of them are from the UK, some of them are from much further afield. And we tend to run about 5 of those a term. And that's a real focal point for the research community at CDH. And it's a really exciting way to, you know, get to know the whole world of computer vision, and of course a way to build a cohort among the MPhil students. As well as these individual courses, we have a kind of internal version of this. So this kind of complements the courses that we run. We run something called a lecture series. Okay, well, all the courses are kind of lecture series because they all have lectures in them, but this is a particular, if you like, internal talk assemblage. And it's about different ways of theorizing the digital humanities. This, again, is just a sort of example of some of the names and some of the topics that we have treated this term. And this, again, is run about 5 times a term. And of course, one of the really exciting things about Cambridge is the wealth of other stuff that there is going on all the time. There are all sorts of college-based lecture series, research series, seminar series. There are all sorts of other departmental and faculty seminar series and research series, and they're extremely exciting. So, you know, engaging with other departments is one of the really, I think, strong points of Cambridge Digital Humanities. And a lot of our students maybe have a background in a particular bit of the humanities, say classics, music, that sort of thing. And what they'll often do is go to the CDH events and go to events in their particular, let's say, departmental affiliation. So just a quick couple of words on the program, and then I'll move it over to Q&A, I promise. Just to sort of emphasize that the program is not a kind of conversion course into computer science, right? We don't, how can I put this? It's possible to do the course without learning programming at all. You can learn programming if you want to, and you can come in with zero technical expertise and gain some technical expertise. And Jonathan has been amazing in conceiving of new and exciting ways to do that. But it's possible to do it with no coding at all, and it's possible to do it as an extremely technical degree. So we if you like, try to cover the whole spectrum there. Part of that is to do with the massive amount of flexibility you get. So you decide the topics for all of your examinations. You decide your own essay titles and your own dissertation titles and dissertation project. And you decide about 2/3 of the courses that you actually take. As I've said, we have a very, very diverse set of disciplinary backgrounds, both within the humanities, that is to say, we're not all from English literature or whatever, but also across the wider universities. So some people are from more arts backgrounds than humanities backgrounds, that is to say, fine arts. Some people are coming from a STEM background, and so on and so on. And we hope to be research-led, very, very deeply research-led, both in the type of teaching that we offer and in the kind of work that you do as an MPhil student here. So you're often basically working on little individual research projects. Okay, this is the world's worst Venn diagram about how all of the faculties fit in to each other. This is about what kind of background we expect. And a lot of people email us saying, well, look, I've got an undergrad in blah, 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 blah. I did really well, but I don't think it's related to DH. Do you think I can apply? And the answer is always yes. We're extremely excited to have a cohort that is as diverse, including intellectually diverse, as possible. So we get people from all kinds of undergrads, some people who've even done a master's, but in something completely different. Some people who've taken years out and had, you know, significant professional experience and then come back to academia, all sorts of things. There is an academic threshold there. It's not always a hard threshold, especially if you've got things like significant professional experience since your degree. So if you're worried about that, then if in doubt, talk to us, or, you know, submit an application and argue why the threshold shouldn't apply in your case, which, you know, for many people applying this year will be to do with COVID as well. All sorts of exciting careers, of course, of people coming out of the digital humanities. A lot of people go into things like AI policy, science policy. A lot of people stay in the digital humanities, which is a really exciting area for research, very sought after, both in the humanities and in technical disciplines. A lot of people go back to what we might call their home disciplines. So, you know, people who had a music undergrad going back to do a music PhD or whatever it might be. And this year, of course, we also have a PhD in the digital humanities at Cambridge. So that's going to start in the coming academic year. So the people who are applying for an MPhil now might well be going into the second year of the Cambridge PhD in digital humanities. Okay, I've got some slides here on what the courses are about, but we have quite a lot of details on this on the website. So I think I might skip to these two slides, which are not on the website, or rather one thing that's not on the website and one thing that's only recently been put on the website. This thing that isn't on the website are sort of example dissertation titles. So these are the sorts of dissertations that you might be interested in writing. And as you can tell, they span that whole gamut from things that are very collections based to things that are quite technical and focused on, you know, almost computer science adjacent things, to things that are in the social sciences, to things that are in the kind of cultural history side of the humanities, to things that are in media theory, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you're interested in a collections-based project, and again, that's not all of the things that we do, but, you know, many people will be interested in them. One thing that we've recently put on the website is a description of collections that are in Cambridge that our colleagues and partners in the university collections, in the university library, in the Fitzwilliam Museum and places like that say they would like people to work on, and, you know, maybe even provide support or extra supervision or something like that for you to work on. So if you'd like to do collections-based work, but you don't already know a collection in Cambridge that you'd like to work with, then that resources tab on the MPhil section of our website might be a good place to look. Okay. The last slides that I have are all on things like deadlines and what you need to apply. And again, they're all on the website, so I'm not going to waste time here. I'm going to leave as much time as possible for the Q&A. But I will just put the contact details up there in case you need to reach out to us. And of course, they're also all on our website.